2020 will forever be engraved in our memories, for better or for worse. Us nerds really saw a lot of ups and downs this year. Hello everyone, and welcome to my secret base. My name is Esther, and in today's video, I take a look at 10 memorable moments from 2020. I will also be giving these moments a thumbs up or a thumbs down, depending on the type of moment. Before we begin, please take a few moments to like, subscribe, and to turn on those notifications. Alright, let's get started. Let's begin with Marvel's Disney Plus Super Bowl spot, featuring all upcoming series such as WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and Loki. While the trailer revealed more stuff, these were honestly the series that most people wanted to see, and the ones that captured the most attention as they were the most anticipated ones because the MCU. With numerous people taking time just analyzing every frame of every second of this footage. This was the definite up and a moment which gave a lot of people and got a lot of people excited about 2020. Oh, what came after? Continuing with another up, we go to the release of the Final Fantasy VII Remake, which was met with absolute praise as it was a game that some people have been anticipating for quite over a decade. This game was praised for not only the amount of content within it, and take note that this only covered half the Final Fantasy VII story, but also the stunning graphics and the smooth gameplay. 2020 could be considered the year of delays. This year we saw basically every comic book movie delayed. Highly anticipated movies like Black Widow and The Eternals were delayed as long as 2021, while others like Wonder Woman were delayed until Christmas. This is definitely a down, since most of these movies were already, if not almost finished, and fans were absolutely awaiting their debut. Though it could turn into a blessing at the end, since the absence of Marvel content in 2020 could cure the burnout that some fans had in the past few years. Considering that when WandaVision releases in the next month, it will be about 18 months since we last had anything from the MCU. This is probably one of the biggest ups of this entire year, and probably in the last few years, to be honest with you, and it is the release of Animal Crossing New Horizons on the Nintendo Switch. The release could have not come at a better time, as it happened just as the pandemic began and people were beginning to stay home. This wholesome masterpiece of a game has kept an incredible amount of people sane and happy throughout this whole year, and it will probably do so long after. But it was a big blessing at the time when everything just looked absolutely bleak. Time for a down, and it is the release of Mulan on Disney Plus, which required people to pay an extra $30 to watch it. Oh yeah, you hear that right. This upset a lot of people, and rightfully so, as Disney was basically charging people to watch a pretty meh movie within a service that they were already paying for. This didn't go well, and honestly, they could have done so much better, but it was good that they learned their lesson. Hopefully. Up next, we have another down, and it is the release of Marvel's The Avengers, which was a game that a lot of people were already suspicious about before it was released, and sadly, they were alright. The game was panned by fans and myself for repetitive missions, repetitive gameplay, lack of content, and a pay-to-play system that offered absolutely nothing to fans and was even confusing to even understand. The game continued to make headlines long after its release, when it was reported that Square lost about $63 million with this game after 96% of the people that played it dropped off a week after it was released, which doesn't surprise me at all. This could be considered an up or a down depending on who you are, but for me, it's an up. And it's the announcement that Warner Brothers will be releasing all 2021 movies on HBO Max instead of theaters, or in both. This was met with a mix of reviews, with some people angry that WB is trying to kill theaters and others praising the WB for looking into the future, something which I fall in. And now, time for one of the biggest downs of the entire year, and it's the release of both the PS5 and the Xbox Series X. This was, quite honestly, one of the worst console releases ever from the very beginning, with issues starting all the way back at the pre-order phase. Essentially, bots got all the consoles, leaving the people that actually wanted the console at the mercy of scalpers. Some which were charging over 1K for a single console. Some of them were actually not charging that much. Very few. Very nice people. But the majority of them were. This is still an ongoing issue, and to be honest, it will continue well into next year. And I place most of the blame on Sony's mishandling of their own release and greed by retailers such as Walmart, GameStop, and Kohl's, who canceled my order after confirming it because they only had 2,000 units and sold 100,000. And they're really the biggest culprits. Here's another big up on a follow-up to our first one, and it was Disney's investors meeting. During the meeting, Disney released several trailers for upcoming projects such as WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and Loki, like I mentioned earlier, and revealed that the Fantastic Four were finally coming to the MCU and will be directed by Spider-Man director Jon Watts. And I am just ecstatic and I can't wait. And lastly, an amazingly huge up, and it was season 2 of The Mandalorian. Remember how amazing the first season was and how nobody could stop talking about it? How much it left us wanting more? Wow! Let me tell you that season 2 left season 1 in the dust because it gave us everything we didn't know we wanted in this show. Cameos from the likes of Ahsoka Tano, Boba Fett, and certainly, and not least at all, Luke Skywalker and R2-D2. This season was such a ride and I loved every second of it, including the revelation of Baby Yoda's name as Grogu. With all that said, I cannot wait for the future of the Star Wars TV universe, with the Book of Boba Fett officially confirmed during the finale of Mandalorian Season 2 and Mandalorian Season 3 to kick off December 25th, 2021. Well, that is all for this week. What other moments do you think I should have added? Do you agree with these? Let me know in the comments below. Also, before you go, and before 2020's gone, which any day now, take a look at some of the additional content on the screen right now. And check me out on Facebook. The link is in the description. See ya!